anxious, bullied or isolated. Language like this does not safeguard them. It increases stigma and fear. Parents are watching this debate too. Parents who are scared and desperate for clarity. This motion tells them that doctors cannot be trusted and that research itself is dangerous. That does not support families, it frightens. This council is not a medical regulator. We do not have the expertise or the authority to ban nationally approved clinical research, but we do have the responsibility to act with care, humility and honesty. Safeguarding children means learning where we do not yet know enough. It means evidence, not prejudged conclusions, compassion, not condemnation. And for those reasons, I urge councillors in this chamber tonight to knock this motion straight out of the chamber. Thank you.
Motion references the CAS report, which faces significant scrutiny from the scientific community. Its findings must not be treated as absolute. A peer-reviewed study that critically appraises the CAS report's methodological flaws and unsupported claims concludes that the CAS report's recommendations, given its methodological flaws and misrepresentation of evidence, warrant critical scrutiny to ensure ethical and effective support for gender-diverse youth. The authors point out a deeper ethical failing, that the CAS review often treats gender-diverse young people not as individuals with agency, but as objects of concern to be observed and managed, rather than as people whose lived experiences should inform and shape the care that they receive. That is a violation of the most basic standard of patient-centred care. Another study, titled Mental Health Outcomes in Transgender and Non-Binary Youth Receiving Gender-Affirming Care, concludes that the receipt of gender-affirming care, including puberty blockers and hormones, was associated with 60% lower odds of moderate or severe depression and 73% lower odds of suicidality over a 12-month follow-up, and that restricting access to such care may have significant negative outcomes in well-being. This is a medical issue governed by healthcare guidelines and clinicians. As a council, we do not determine treatment pathways, but what we do determine is the tone of our civic space. Do we make this inclusive or exclusionary? While fully informed medical consent is a principle that underpins all ethical healthcare, where systems fall short of upholding due process, that's a failing in procedure and not in the principle of the care itself. If somebody receives poor care for a broken leg, we don't conclude that broken legs shouldn't be treated. Somebody peacefully living in a way that aligns with their gender identity does not constitute as deception, let alone something unlawful. History reminds us of how fluid our norms are. There was a time when it was considered shocking, even improper, for women to wear trousers, and today most of us would find that idea outdated, perhaps even absurd. So let's not fall into the trap of policing expression and identity. Our council should hold a deep commitment to something that unites us all, and that is dignity, compassion, and for the right for everybody in our borough to live a happy and fulfilled life, and to avoid turning sensitive healthcare issues into a political football.
And those who do not. There has been some discussion this evening about people transitioning. One of my distant relatives, until the age of 70, lived under the pressure of being a man. They broke down. They had a massive breakdown at the age of 70. During the psychiatric treatment and psychological treatment they had, they finally revealed why it was they had always felt different and wrong, in the wrong body. It took nearly 3 years to actually transition. At the age of 70, it's a very big decision to make. If perhaps there had been the support and the education and the information that had been available, this was a person who, as a man, ran London marathons. He was a local builder. He realised that within his community, this was going to be very difficult. It's a small village. But his health, his mental health, and everything to do with it had to be addressed. For the last 10 years, she has lived as a woman. John became June and has been happy. But 70 years of not being able to be the person that she wanted to be have gone by. I know this isn't specific to any of the individuals, but this is what we're deciding here. Do we actually support the Equality Act? As councillors, we are obliged to.